Good evening, and welcome to the Town of Auburn Zoning Board of Appeals for Thursday, June 16th, 2022. We have 3 hearings this evening. Before we begin, as a matter of housekeeping, this open meeting of the Town of Auburn Zoning Board of Appeals is being operated as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Act of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by telephone by dialing 1-646-749-3112 and access code 944-571-349. Or join by computer by visiting https://global.gotomeeting.com/join/944-571349. Governor Baker signed into law Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, which extends certain statuses enacted due to COVID-19. This statute states that public bodies may continue to hold remote meetings through July 15, 2022. The prior law extended remote meetings until April 1, 2022. Just as a reminder, that as of July 16th, when the law expires, boards, commissions, and committees may no longer hold either fully remote or hybrid remote meetings. Starting on July 16th, 2022, remote participation will no longer be supported. All supporting materials have been provided to the members of this body and are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using posted agendas. As a preliminary matter, my name is Michael Marin, acting chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Permit me to confirm that all the members and persons participating in the agenda this evening remotely are present and can hear me. So members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Richard Cussy.
Affirmative.
J. Lawrence Chicolo.
Here.
Megan Roche.
Here.
Caitlin Bush.
I'm here.
Thank you. Town officials and employees participating, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Caleb Moody.
Here.
Keith Heselton.
Present.
Please note that the vote taken in this meeting will be conducted as a roll call vote. Please note that the meeting will be recorded by the Auburn Cable Television, and if in fact,
Just need to ask if anybody else is recording.
I think we're good. Yeah, no, you're right. Thank you. Excuse me. And just asking if anyone in the audience is recording this evening and not hearing any. Very good. All right. Thank you for bearing with me through that. And with the print going back and forth. So our first hearing this evening is a 6 p.m. applicant Viewpoint Signs and Awning requesting a special permit under Section 7.8 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for an electronic messaging center, EMC, sign located at 123 Auburn Street, map 24, parcel 055. Is the applicant present? Okay. Could I have a motion to open the hearing?
I'll make a motion to open.
Second. Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote. Motion has been made and seconded. So Mr. Cussy?
Open.
Mr. Chicolo?
Open.
Ms. Bush?
Open.
And Ms. Roche, excuse me.
Open.
Okay. All right, thank you. So, good evening, sir. So if you could state your name for the record and
My name is
tell us
Joseph.
what you'd like to accomplish.
My name is Joseph Buckholz. I'm with Viewpoint Sign and Awning, and I'm here on behalf of Bay State Savings Bank to put a message center on their building at 123 Auburn Street. There are some reasons for it, is that one, the zoning isn't allowed in this area. However, we've shown a map with a circular to show you that where we're planning on putting this message center is not on it facing anyone's houses, so it really shouldn't affect residential areas. It's basically facing the busy road of Auburn Street the off-row of the highway and Vine Street where they come to the intersection. The purpose is to help the bank, advertise to their customers of services and rates, et cetera. I have full-color pictures of the proposed sign on the building if you'd like to see it. If you need copies of bigger prints. And we're just asking for permission to put that sign up.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and if there are any other comments, I'll go ahead and open it up to the board members for their questions. Mr. Chacolo?
Thank you, Mr. Maron. The present sign that exists,
Yes,
is that being replaced with
Yes.
your message center?
yes.
Okay. That's it for right now, Mr. Maron.
Thank you, Mr. Chacolo. Mr. Cussy?
I have no questions right now.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Bush? Questions for the applicant?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Roche, questions for the applicant?
No, none for me.
Okay. All right, thank you. So we'll go around one more time and see if board members have any questions and any discussion. Sorry, I do have one question. So this sign that you're sharing here, and of course those that at home can't see it, but this sign here, this is the only sign that we're
Yes,
talking about?
the
Okay.
one on the right is existing,
Yes.
the one on the left is proposed. So that one comes down, and this goes up in its place.
I did have an opportunity to view the property, and I know you had mentioned this, but this depiction, not that it threw me, but when I viewed the property, so we're not talking about any other location of a sign,
No,
on
that, the whole
property.
purpose of that is to show the 200-foot radius of where that was part of the code, and also to show that the angle of the sign is not going to be in any residential houses,
Right.
which is a big concern.
Understood, yeah, and I think you well covered that. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I don't have any further questions, frankly. Caleb, do you have any comments?
No, I would just check with the butters.
Okay, very good. Are there any abutters present that would like to speak on this matter? Not seeing any in the room, any on the phone?
No, we're good.
No, oh, very good. All right, and so, just one last time, any board members have any additional comments or questions
None
for the
further.
applicant?
None for me.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, thank you, sir. So I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second? All right, very good. Motion made and second. So, Mr. Cussy, how do you vote?
To close the hearing?
To close the hearing, yes.
Close the hearing.
And Mr. Chacolo?
Approve.
Ms. Bush?
Closed.
Ms. Roche?
Closed.
Very good, thank you. So, we have the applicant and his brief before us. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I would make a motion to grant.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All right, so motion's been made and second. So, Mr. Cussy, how do you vote?
I vote to grant.
Mr. Colo?
Approve.
Ms. Bush?
Approve.
Ms. Roche?
Grant.
And the chair votes to grant and approve. So congratulations, sir. I would only add to my approval to grant that we would do it with standard conditions. All right, thank you very much, and good luck to you. Okay, we'll just give a moment for the gentleman to
What's the second?
exit the room. See if I have your- Okay, our second hearing this evening is a 6:05 PM applicant, Property Solutions, is requesting a special permit under section 3.2.2.8 of the Auburn zoning bylaw to build an accessory apartment at 855 Oxford Street South, map 80, map 080, parcel 007. Is the applicant present? Okay, very good, if you could approach. If I could take a motion to open the hearing.
Motion to open the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Colo. Is there,
Second?
Ms. Cussy seconds? And so, Mr. Colo, how do you vote?
Open.
Mr. Cussy?
Open.
Ms. Bush?
Open.
And, excuse me, Ms. Roche?
I will approve the motion to open. I do have a member of if you want to open me.
I'm sorry, didn't quite get that, but what I was looking for was just your vote on a motion to open the hearing.
Yes, I approve.
All right, very good. And the chair approves to open. All right, and thank you for bearing with us through those logistics.
Sure.
And so, good evening, sir. If you could state your name, thank you for being here and tell us what you're looking to accomplish.
Yep, my name's Rick LeBlanc from Property Solutions, and we're looking for a special permit to put an in-law apartment in the basement.
Okay. Anything additional to add?
No, pretty simple.
All right, very good. Before I open it up to board members for their comments, I want to call to the board members' attention, there was a communication brought forward that was circulated, and you should have it now in your packet, that speaks to this hearing. And Caleb, I don't know if, before we begin member comments, if you wanted to comment on this hearing.
I don't have any specific comments. You can read the Board of Health's
All
comment.
right, very good.
For the record, if you want to read them, or I can read
Okay.
them.
No, I'm certain, I can certainly read them. I'm sorry, I was just looking, I was originally looking for an attachment on the email, quite frankly, but it literally is just the email. Okay, very good. And so, brought forward today by the Board of Health is the following comment that was circulated to the board members. The Board of Health does not recommend an accessory apartment project without review of an existing and proposed floor plan of the entire dwelling. Any proposed addition must be in compliance with the septic design requirements. If you have any additional questions, please let me know, so on. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and, for consideration, open it up to board members for questions and comments. Mr. Colo?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Initially, I have one comment and one question of our Board of, not the Board of Health, but our commissioner here. Caleb, was there a specific concern that would be addressed if you had a floor plan of the proposed addition?
The bedroom count.
Pardon?
The septic system designed for a certain number of bedrooms.
Right.
So the Board of Health needs to determine how many bedrooms are in the existing home and how many bedrooms are being added.
Okay,
See
thank
if
you.
the- see if
Doesn't
the-
it, does that take into account proposed bathrooms?
The system
bedrooms.
design is based on bedroom count.
Thank you. Comment I have, Mr. Chairman, is if we go ahead and proceed, we don't have that floor plan. We can't, we really, my
Yes, you do.
recommendation, I guess, would be
Existing house.
not to proceed on the application.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah, if you could just let him finish, sir.
It would be to not to proceed on the application in accordance with the recommendation. I don't believe it would be servicing the town to hold any kind of a vote. And that's it for now.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Colo. So before we move on to other board members, I will give you an opportunity to respond, sir.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, you do have in the packet the proposed plan. There was a couple of things that the building commissioner had asked us to do, so we had the plan redone to include those items. And also, I brought in a plan of the existing house that they had scanned. I think you were involved in that. My wife brought it down to you, and the house plan as well. She had the whole set of plans. Okay. And she had the whole roll.
Through the chair,
It was the whole house.
how many bedrooms in the existing house?
There's 3 bedrooms in the house now, we're adding 1.
And what's the design for the system?
4.
My recommendation would be if the board was to move forward, that they condition upon approval by the Board of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Daly.
You're welcome.
Mr. Moody, excuse me. Okay, I do have questions, but I'm going to reserve them and give other board members an opportunity to jump in. Mr. Cussy?
Yeah, I agree with, Caleb, have you been in the home?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't, not since they've applied.
The house is about 10 years old, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been in since they submitted this application. Rich.
Yeah.
But the permit approval could be conditioned upon approval by the Board of Health. That way, they would either have to meet, the floor plan would have to meet the Board of Health's approval, or they would have to upgrade the system to meet the Board of Health's approval.
Right, I mean, the system's huge, so we need to know, what system exists now. So it was for a four-bedroom home, the system was,
Town of Auburn has a +1 regulation, so a 3-bedroom home would require a 4-bedroom design for these instances where they come to add a bedroom. That way, they don't have to, but they wouldn't be able to move forward without Board of Health approval anyway. So conditioning the permit would cover everything, if the board decided to approve the permit.
This would require a 5-bedroom design.
When they build the house,
Yeah, fine.
they require +1, so that if somebody comes in down the road to add to their home, they can add it without upgrading the system.
So this could possibly-
New construction requires +1.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is the current septic design, is that recorded anywhere?
Yes.
It is? And we have the,
They would have to prove if we don't have it on file, if the house is 10 years old, I'm guessing it's on file, but if we didn't, they would have to prove to the Board of Health what the system's designed for.
okay. And
They wouldn't be able to move forward without approval from Board of
I
Health.
believe there was an addition showing, if I heard you correctly, the layout of the addition?
There's no addition, it's a basement
Right, yeah,
renovation.
The floor plan of the apartment?
Yeah, that's what you have right there.
This is the floor plan of the apartment.
This is the floor plan,
That's the proposed apartment
okay,
in the basement.
in the cellar, all right.
And a question I had, a bulkhead counts as a egress?
The second means of egress, plus they have an emergency escape window
Window,
that
I
we're
see the
putting in
window.
the bedroom.
Right. Okay. I have no more questions for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cussy. Ms. Bush?
I don't have anything right this moment.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Roche?
I think you missed my comment before, but I recused myself from this hearing.
Oh, excuse me. I did not catch that. All right, so you're recusing yourself from this hearing.
I am.
Is that correct? Okay. And so, be that as it may, as just a point of housekeeping, given that a board member steps back, that leaves 4 voting board members, which would require a supermajority for any hearing to pass. And so that would certainly be at your discretion as to whether or not you'd like us to move forward with a vote with 4 voting board members. Because in order for it to be successful, it would need to achieve the affirmative with all 4 board members. And so something for you to think about as we're discussing this. Okay, and with no other questions from other board members, I do have a few. So, sir, you had said that this is the floor plan for the proposed apartment,
Yes,
and this lands at 699 square feet,
yes,
and this is 1 bedroom.
yes.
And what's there now?
It's just a basement, partially finished, like an exercise room. Pretty much just open basement.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any additional questions, gentlemen?
None for me.
Thank you, Mr. Cussy. Mr. Chacolo?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Bush, any additional questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so before we close the public portion of the hearing, or I take recommendation to do so, if you would, if you had any comments or thoughts relative to moving forward with the vote this evening with the necessity of 4 voting members voting the affirmative to pass.
So what would be the alternative?
Request a continuance.
What's that?
No, no,
You could request a continuance to the next hearing.
Would there be board members at the next meeting? Is that what you're saying?
the expectation would be that if you moved it to the next meeting, for a full complement of the board, which is 5 voting members, that you
But the
would wait for
person
that.
that-
But the person here is abstaining. We don't currently have an alternate.
So wouldn't she abstain again next time?
She absolutely would.
We have someone absent
But
tonight.
we're missing a person.
Oh, there's somebody absent.
Yeah.
They can watch the video of the hearing and take a vote at the next hearing. You would need everyone to vote for it
For it.
tonight, or you would need 4 to
Can they
1.
tell me how they're gonna vote first?
I can ask them, I don't know if they'll tell you.
You can certainly ask.
I mean, we'd have to wait another month before another meeting.
That's correct. That would be
We're
your,
really trying to get the whole thing done. I mean, it's, you know, her parents, they're actually in a hotel right now because they sold their house, so they're trying to get this done so her parents can live with them and she can help take care of them.
I did see the intent in your brief of the apartment, and I am empathetic.
And we did, you know, we had the architect call to make sure that everything there was done, you know, according to the town bylaws. So,
Yeah, I mean, I respect that. I do. And
I guess I'll ask if I can, is anybody gonna say no?
You can certainly ask.
Would you vote for it?
I would vote my conscience.
Say we do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I'm not, again,
No, I know, I
I'm
just-
truly not making, this is an important matter to you. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be cheeky in any way.
Yeah, I just-
It's an important discussion. Want to make sure that you understand that you have that right to wait for additional board members so that you're not put in a situation where you're relying on a supermajority.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was a huge decision, so I guess I'm gonna say, yeah, let's
Okay, so you'd like
do
to
it.
proceed? All right, very
Yes,
good.
let's proceed.
Very good. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate you discussing it with us openly. Could I have a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
I'll make the motion to close.
Thank you, Mr. Cussy.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Chacolo. So, Ms. Cussy, how do you vote?
Close the hearing.
And Mr. Chacolo?
Close.
Ms. Bush?
She abstained.
Approved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I did the same thing earlier. Thank you. And the chair votes to approve the closure of the hearing.
Name's too close.
Excuse me for that rustling. So, gentlemen, and Ms. Bush, we have before us a hearing. Is there a motion?
I would make a motion to grant with the conditions of the septic system be,
Through the chair, I'd make the recommendation that the special, standard conditions plus the special condition that Board of Health must approve prior to any building permits being issued.
Ms. Cussy, would you like to amend your motion as stated?
yeah, I would like to grant with these conditions right here. That would just
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded with the conditions articulated by Mr. Moody. Ms. Cussy, how do you vote?
grant.
Mr. Chacolo?
Approve.
Ms. Bush?
Approve.
And the chair approves. And so with those stated conditions, it will ask Mr. Moody to help us articulate in the decision with that. But it certainly is contingent upon Board of Health approval. And
Do I pursue that, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I just go talk to the Board of Health, tell them.
Yeah, they're in our office, so you can just call Keith tomorrow and
yeah, and that office will work openly directly with you.
Good enough.
To look to accomplish. But the conditions of the approval and the special permit are such that if the Board of Health signs off, then you should be good.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here. We'll just give him a moment to exit before we move to our next hearing.
sorry, their last names are so close, I keep messing them up.
Same.
Roach
I
and
was
Bush.
doing it all evening earlier. Okay.
What's your preference for location? Knowing that I have to talk in the microphone, or I can speak very loud?
Probably right there, and we can turn that mic towards you.
Oh, yeah, wherever you're comfortable, put that, yeah, yes, sir, that would be fine.
Well, maybe if I turn it this way, you might sit over there?
It's not where he sits, it's the camera for the people remotely. It's not him, it's... That's why we ask for documents, so we can put them on the screen.
If you like, you can just put them up on the screen and discuss on that.
Ms. Bush, Ms. Roche, so we're just going through some logistics on, they brought an easel in and some graphics, and so they're just discussing where they should put it in placement in the room. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. We have a 6:10 PM applicant, 9 St. Mark LLC, requesting an aquifer special permit under section 4.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a proposed addition to an existing commercial building at 9 St. Mark Street, map 058, parcel 044. The applicant is in fact present. So I will, is there a motion to open the hearing?
Motion to open?
Second.
Thank you. And so, Mr. Cussy, how do you vote?
Motion to open. I mean, open, yes.
Mr. Chacolo?
Open.
Ms. Bush?
Open.
Ms. Roche?
Open.
And the chair votes to open. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you for being here. So if you could just state your name for the record, please. I am going to ask you, I know you're working with some graphics, if you could lean into the microphone, just so that everyone can hear you. And if you could state your name for the record and tell us what you're looking to accomplish.
Yes, thank you. For the record, Jim Bernardino, I'm with CMG Engineering, representing the applicant of 9 St. Mark Street LLC. Mr. Jim Glickman's here. He is the applicant this evening for the property. Just to give a quick locus, so everyone understands where the project is. The site's located at 9 St. Mark Street. We have an existing almost 24,000 square foot light industrial building located off of St. Mark Street, which is south side of Washington Street. It's a little just southwest of Pondville Pond. The development location is within a industrial area. It's a short industrial park off of Route 20. It is located within the general industrial zone. What the applicant is looking to do is to construct a just over 11,000 square foot proposed addition to the building, 11,200 square feet to be exact, to address his current tenant's needs. This is just the zoomed in portion of the site plan that was in your package. I just colored it up so you can see it from a little bit of a distance. Kind of a unique situation for the current use of the project. As I mentioned, we have just under 24,000 square foot of a building. We do have paved access driveways in and around and actually through the building. So we are in the process of working with Conservation Commission as well, because we do have on the north and south sides of the site wetlands. So we had our first Conservation Commission meeting last week, site walk over the weekend. Within a couple of weeks, we'll be in front of the planning board for our site plan review and approval. But obviously tonight, we're here to talk about the special permit because the property will be located within the Groundwater Protection Overlay District, Zone 2. With that being said, this is the proposed addition. Obviously, there's no changes to the existing building. We're looking to add an 11,200 square foot addition. We're mimicking the site circulation of the site, allowing for delivery vehicles to pass through the building and out the side to unload their materials and basically maintain the same operations that's there today, both a little bit of an enhancement with some additional capacities because the economy's taking off and they're growing and need some additional space. One component that we did add to the plan that's not currently implemented on the site right now in these existing additions, we added a little bit better maneuvering for tractor trailer vehicles. In addition to driving through the building, we've also provided your traditional loading dock. So those larger vehicles could come in and load traditional manners rather than driving through the building. So it gives the current tenant options for deliveries, and also, should their lease expire in a number of years, it also gives the applicant greater diversity to, seek other tenants as well. Now, the special permit obviously outlines anything over 15% impervious on the site needs the special permit. Existing conditions, we're about 38%. So existing conditions, we're already over that 15% maximum allowed without a special permit. We are proposing to increase the impervious by obviously means of the construction of the building and the paved parking areas. However, what we've done is we developed a very comprehensive and detailed drainage system that will collect clean rooftop and infiltrate it into the groundwater by an underground detention system. We've also are collecting all of the impervious surfaces, where your pollutants will come from, your sands, your salts, and any drippings from vehicles and the like. We have a collection and treatment system additional to the underground system. So before it gets infiltrated, we're going to settle out the solids and the greases, treat it beyond what's required from the minimum standards of the stormwater policy. So in a net charge, we're actually putting more groundwater, more rainwater back into the ground than what's existing conditions. So we're not just only mitigating the added impervious that we're proposing, we're putting actually more into the ground. Obviously, this is going to require a further review of the site plan review process. We have initiated the peer review of that. Hopefully that will be coming forth within a few weeks, so we believe we should be able to address those comments that come back from them. Other than that, I'll keep my presentation short and kind of to the point of the special permit. Our application has outlined how we meet all the standards of the special permit as well as the aquifer protection zone. We can go into detail on those if you have any particular questions, but rather than going through a lengthy read-through, turn it over to the board for any questions or comments you may have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Okay, Mr. Chacolo?
I have no further questions.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cussy?
Yeah, how did you make out with conservation? Did they,
Conservation, it was well received. We didn't get into much dialogue with questions and comments. We had a site walk, and it appeared that things were relatively straightforward. They looked at the plans at a quick glance, and they were good to see some of the hot buttons, like where's our snow storage? Does that go to the drainage system? And all of those components have been incorporated into the site plans. But other than some of the preliminary comments, we haven't got into the nitty-gritty of that. We're actually meeting with them next week for a second hearing. We hope to get more feedback if there is any.
and they've dug deep hole tests there and everything to see?
Yes, we've done deep hole tests, through that area. We've done testing in the building area and the like. There's some areas of where, along the edge of the property here, there is a sewer easement. So the town actually has one of the main sewer lines going around the property. Back whenever that was installed in the late 50s or 60s, they just backfilled with crap, meaning organic materials. So there's some areas, in the detention basin where we need to remove that, get down to natural sands. So there are natural sands there, but we've got to take a little bit of material out, particularly in the drainage basin, to make sure it does leach into the ground as it would be intended in the designs.
Okay.
So we've done probably more testing than we want to, but I think it was
Yeah.
well needed to make sure we get it right.
Good, 'cause I remember that being a little mucky over there.
Yeah, it's mucky up in the building, no problem, but where that drainage, where that sewer line goes through, it was probably a valley someday, and they just followed the sewer line down the low spot and backfilled whatever they had.
And what exactly gets done with the business? Is it cutting metals or?
It's cutting metals. They basically are cutting fabrication with corrosive resistant materials. They do a lot of work with, I think, Electric Boat down in Groton. So when they have, especially, U-channels, they have to be a certain shape and size. I believe they have a full machine shop so they can cut and fabricate to standard, to spec, things of that nature, and getting it out. It's really cutting of metals and shaping.
So coolants, you use a lot of coolant.
Yes, they would have coolants. What we do have probably a lot of oil coolant, things of that nature for the cutting. So they do have that contained inside the building. Anything dripping on the floor is equipped with some drains because there are vehicles going through the site. If we are successful with the, permitting entitlements with the town, we'll work with those guys for final sewer connection permits and things of that nature.
And you're gonna separate the system that's gonna have separation, so you're gonna separate the oils and?
Yes, exactly.
So these have to be maintained also?
Yes, and as part of the stormwater system designs that we have, we've developed an operation maintenance plan that call out, routine inspections and then obviously routine and, minimum requirements for cleaning of them, If you have such an amount of sediment or oil that's noted in inspection, it's gotta get pumped out. Or if it's okay, then it goes to the next inspection, but at a minimum, you have to do it once a year.
Yeah, just because we have the pond there and the aquifer, it's a little
Right.
sketchy for me to, as long as, we need to make sure that we do it right and maintain it. Those would be my concerns. No more questions for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Cussy. Ms. Roach?
Not really. I guess I just want to reiterate on the record, you don't anticipate the increase in any sort of traffic to and from the area. You're just expanding on the business they already there.
And so if I could, Ms. Rocham, please correct me. It came through a little bit choppy, but I believe that your question was if there's any anticipated increase in traffic. Is that correct?
Correct, especially, larger, bigger vehicles.
Okay. So
Seems like they're just continuing.
thank you for repeating. So the question is do you anticipate an increase in traffic flow? And is there also any anticipation of larger vehicles, different vehicles, a different traffic pattern or size than you're experiencing now?
No, we'll start off with the different size vehicles. With the current use, we're not anticipating, right now they're coming in on, flatbed tractor trailer trucks. We're gonna maintain the same type of characteristics of what's gonna be delivering. The operations of the proposal of the current business is not going to change. What they're looking for is added space so they could stage, set up, and the like. We're not anticipating any substantial increase in traffic. We're probably only anticipating maybe 1 or 2 new employees associated with this. And delivery would be about the same, maybe additional 1 or 2 vehicles during the entire week. So, but it's more for having the inventory, capability in the areas to fabricate within the existing facility that they're trying to accomplish. Not necessarily adding a wing of 20 new employees. We're not looking for that. We're just looking for areas to stage, prepare, have the stock available to fulfill the orders, in a timely manner.
Thank you. Ms. Bush, did you, excuse me, Ms. Roche, I apologize. Were you able to get that answer?
Yep, I got it, and no further questions from me.
Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. Bush, did you have questions?
No questions for me.
All right, thank you very much. Before I just confirm if board members have any additional questions. So one you did already answer, so that there's no substantive change. This is added space to a current operation.
Yes,
So you're not,
obviously a little bit of increase, a delivery here or there a week, 1 or 2 employees were maybe anticipated, but it's not a substantial change that's going to change our operation.
but same core operation, no new business. You're not
Exactly.
going to all of a sudden start fixing cars in there.
Right, exactly. There's no change in use.
Understood. And then, I just had a question, just based on the size and viewing the property, looked like it was going to land in an area that was already relatively paved, or at least a large portion of it.
Yes.
Was going to be paved. So, my estimate, do you have numbers on, what the switch is going to be as far as increase or decrease in impervious surface?
22,244 square feet, half an acre of new impervious area,
Of new?
of new impervious.
All right, but again, your comments earlier were noted on how you're going to remediate.
Correct. We're mediating that by incorporating collection conveyance, treatment, and infiltration recharge above and beyond what's necessary just for the addition.
Understood. Thank you very much. Any additional questions from the board members?
I have one.
Mr. Cussy?
Is this a one-shift operation? One shift.
I know they were not working Saturday morning, the Concom had me out there. So they're not working on the Saturdays.
I'm just wondering, and I'd like to know if there's any abutters that would, I see someone in the crowd, I don't know.
Yeah, so, from that standpoint, impacts the neighbors, so there's no change in operation, there's no change
Yeah.
in, clearing of vegetation around. We're working within our developed area. So, noise, sound, traffic, things of that nature are all anticipated to be the same as it currently exists today. So, other than potential construction impacts during that time, we don't expect any long-term additional impacts from this development.
I'm good with that.
Okay, all right, very good. And I'll just go once more, Ms. Bush, any additional questions or comments?
No, nothing additional, thanks.
Thank you. And Ms. Roche, any additional questions or comments?
Nothing additional, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you very much. Okay, with no other questions, comments from the board, I will, and thank you for reminding me, I will ask if there are any abutters, not seeing any participating in the room here, no abutters online? Okay, so no additional participants to engage. All right, well, with that, I'll take a motion, one to the applicant, no additional comments?
No comments further?
All right, very good. Thank you. So I'll take a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public.
Thank you, Mr. Cussy.
Second.
Second, thank you, Mr. Chacolo. So, Mr. Cussy, how do you vote?
Close the hearing?
Mr. Chacolo?
Close.
Ms. Bosch? Excuse me. Ms. Bush?
Approve.
Ms. Ro-
Close.
And the chair votes to close the public portion of the hearing. Okay, so is there a motion for the 6:10 PM applicant?
I'll make a motion to grant with the normal conditions.
Through the chair, if I could, I'd just like to make a suggestion on aquifer,
Sure.
that you add the standard aquifer special permit conditions and also the special condition that the construction follow the plan as approved by the Auburn Planning Board, as it's all going out to peer review under the site plan. And I'm gonna just provide these special standard conditions to the applicant.
Okay, I was just making a quick note. So, Ms. Cussy, would you like to amend your motion with those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, as stated. Standard conditions as stated, the standard aquifer conditions, and then to follow the approved Auburn Planning Board.
And I will second with the additional comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chacolo. Was there additional comment, Mr. Moody?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, thank you. So motion made and second. So, Ms. Cussy, how do you vote?
Grant.
And Ms. Chacolo?
Grant.
Ms. Bush?
Grant.
Ms. Roche?
Grant.
All right, and the chair votes to grant as well, with the conditions that have been stated, a standard aquifer condition, and that in fact, the special permit follow the approval by the Auburn Planning Board. So congratulations, gentlemen, thanks for being here, and good luck.
Just
Good luck to
one
you.
comment for the applicant before they leave. Just check in with DPW about a land disturbance permit sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, so as our final applicant clears the room, I note that there is other business, but I'm going to defer to Mr. Heselton, just to confirm whether or not, does this need to be addressed and stated, or did we cover this in the opening as I put? Okay. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so essentially, for board members, I mean, this will be our final opportunity for a remote participation meeting. And that going forward, they will all be live here in the town hall. Okay, thank you for that. And yeah, it probably warranted noting with me switching back from borrowed glasses to my own eyes and butchering the opening, that I thank you for the reminder here. Okay, our next meeting is July 21st, 2022. Hard to believe it's already July. around the corner. No additional comments or business, and so with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Ms. Cussy, made and seconded. Ms. Cussy, how do you vote?
Adjourn.
Mr. Colo?
Adjourn.
Ms. Bush?
Adjourn.
Ms. Roche?
Adjourn.
And the chair joins to adjourn. Thank you very much and good evening.